It's not always fun and games for first responders.
05 Central, you show me in pursuit.
But sometimes it is.
Oh my God, he's not wearing pants again.
Sometimes it's dangerous.
Slipping around, look out, look out, look out.
Sometimes it's not.
Antler Boulevard for a snake in a house.
And sometimes it's just plain stupid.
Chihuahua in his lap on a lawnmower.
This is the stupid side of first response.
Dispatch, do I really have to go to that?
This is Code 0.5.
Come in 0.5.
Hey everybody, it's Jason along with my co-host Rich, and we're in Victory Brand Studios.
Yeah, Victory Brand Studios.
And you've got a little shout out there that you want to get across, right?
Yes. Miss Mandy told me I need to let you guys know about Men's Monday, which is 15% off. There's a Women's Wednesday, you get 15% off. Senior Saturday, you get 15% off. There's always a 10% discount for first responders and military vets. And these are at all their locations: Tecumseh, Maud, Norman. So go check them out at Victory Vapor.
I keep forgetting that they're in Norman.
Oh yeah, they're worldwide.
They're big time.
Yeah, they're big time. They got us this fancy setup. We need to get over here and like start streaming.
Yeah, we do. I put a little feeler out on Facebook, see if anybody would do a Q&A with us if we went live.
Did you check your feeler?
No,
Is it tingling?
But on today's episode, we're going to talk about police work and the myths and the bullcrap that go along with it.
Yep.
Like one of the things I didn't know is you were telling me about the cops and donuts.
Oh yeah.
And how that got tied together. I had no idea.
No, you're kidding me.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even like donuts.
No, I don't. Like every now and then, but it's not a thing. But cops and donuts got tied together because back in the day, donut shops were open like super early in the morning. So you're like your late shift cops could go in there and like work on their paperwork and stuff, and they had coffee.
Yeah.
And so they were like kind of like a security thing, but also it was a safe place for the cop to be able to do his stuff, and it's kind of like mutual things. So they were always kind of coming out of donut shops. And so that's how the cop and donut thing got associated.
So yeah, despite popular belief, cops don't really love donuts.
No. We're partial to Monster, though.
Oh yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a cop not with a Monster or a Bang or, whatever in their hand.
Oh, yeah. You got to have enough caffeine to kill a small horse daily.
Yeah, so despite popular belief, not all cops like donuts.
No.
I mean, I'll take some biscuits and gravy.
Oh, yeah. Or what are those things, those sausage roll things?
Oh, yeah.
Those jalapeno cheddar. Those are off the chain.
Oh, yeah. But no, we were sitting here talking about how we've read stuff on Facebook and the stuff we've seen on TV. And like a lot of times, I bet you're the same way. You'll watch a TV show and a cop will be doing something and you just shake your head and you're like, that's not real. Mm-hmm. That's not how it happens. That's not what happens. I mean,
like for instance, you had the one, remember, where the guy was walking down at like night or whatever, and he had the beer bottle.
Yeah.
He broke it, and the guy wanted you to like pick it up and dust it for prints.
Yeah.
To be able to tell whoever that. Do you know how insanely long of a process that is? You know how backed up OSBI is with that right now? Like, and you're talking like on the big cases, like super big murder cases, and trying to dust a beer bottle for prints to figure out who that guy is.
Yeah, that was just walking down the road.
Yeah. Minding his business.
Yeah, they're not going to jump all over that one.
He probably just bought it too. You got to tell him about that.
Oh, the dude walking down the road.
Yeah.
So a guy walking down the highway, I pull up on him and he has a beer can in his hand.
Tall boy.
And I walk up there and I was like, so what you got? And he was like, man, I just got this. And from where he was standing and where he was saying he got it was like a mile away.
Yeah.
And I was like, you mind if I see that for a minute? And he was like, no. And he hands it to me and it was full.
Was it crispy?
It was cold. I mean, I bet he barely just got into it.
Mm.
So I'm standing there talking to him and I was like, look, how do you think this looks that I'm standing here with you? You're holding a beer in your hand. I don't know if you've consumed any of it. You may or may not have. and people are driving by seeing this, they're going to expect me to do something.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, he goes, I just got out. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I just got out of jail. And I was like, so you just got out of jail, you're walking back home, and you stopped on the way and got a beer, and you're going to drink it while you're walking down the road. And he was like, yeah. And he goes, well, I didn't just get out. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, after I got out, I stopped by my old lady's house. And I was like, were you over there smashing? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, man, there ain't no way anybody would want to do something like that with you. Look at you. And he's like, yeah, she did. And he pulled out of his pocket a handful of condoms.
What?
Some of them had been, their empty wrappers had been
I was
opened.
gonna say, he saved it?
And then the other ones, they were still in the wrappers. And I was like, okay, well, maybe somebody is desperate enough to get with you.
Wow. That's thirsty work.
So I looked at him and I was like, look, dude, I'll give you your choice. Here's your options. You got two of them. One, you can pour this beer out right here, and then I'll give you a ride to where you're going. Or two, you can chug that thing as fast as you can, and then I'll give you a ride back to jail. And he goes, well, I ain't going back there. And he takes the beer can and then just goes whoop and throws it over into the ditch.
That's littering, bro.
I was like, dude, you can't do that right here. But yeah, he pours it all out, and I was like, all right, dude, I'll give you a ride. And he was like, man, thanks. I don't want to go back to jail.
Jeez, man.
Now, it would have been different if the guy would, like, drink a bunch of them. He's stumbling all over and stuff. It's like, no, I can't just leave you here. You'll fall out in the road, get run over or something.
Yeah.
It'd be on me. But
Poor guy.
yeah, it takes it, and he just goes, whoop, throws it.
Spent everything he had on. Where do you cash the check? Because don't they, like, whenever if you have any money on you, like cash money, they take it and then they issue you a check after that?
Well, right there where the jail is, across the street, that gas station, they have a big sign up that says, we cash checks.
Oh, so they'll cash it for him?
I bet he cashed it there.
Bet. That's some freaking. Were they Magnums? Don't lie. Were they? Did he have a big one?
I have no idea.
Was he trying to
close to it? I just saw it and was like, well, maybe he really was.
Okay. Right on.
But anyway, to get back on our topic here, one of the things I saw on Facebook was somebody was like pissed because they got pulled over.
That's usually the case.
And they said that the cop had followed them for farther than a mile. And if they have to follow you for farther than that, then that's illegal. So I was like, wait a minute, what? You're saying that a cop can't follow you for a period of longer than a mile? That's the distance?
That's all you've got to find your PC for the stop.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Okay.
So I'm like, how do you know he was, quote unquote, following you?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been behind people and followed them for 6 or 8 miles, and it just so happens they're going the same place I am. And have you seen?
You got to start like a timer from the time you notice.
Have you seen the TikTok video where the guy's driving down the road? He's all like in a good mood, and he looks in his mirror, and he's all like, "Oh shit, a cop!" So then he starts like putting both hands on the wheel, and he's driving properly and all this. And then it cuts to the cop that's in the car behind him, and he's like rocking out to music and singing and stuff. And then he's like, "Come on, guy, go!"
Pretty much.
It's like he's like so paranoid the cop's out to get him. The cop's like,
it's my Friday.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm going home.
Yeah, my shift's over.
Oh,
Get out of the way.
7. Go.
But yeah, that's another thing is that if he wanted to, he could follow you farther than a mile. Police life.
Oh man.
Is it as glamorous on TV as they put it out to be?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Have you seen those pictures where it shows like a rookie cop and it shows some kid that's like all, clean shaved and all this, and he's all like smiling and stuff and happy. And then it shows like the 10-year veteran, and he's like, it says he's like 30 years old, but he looks like he's 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's
not that
it.
glamorous.
No, it's not. There's nothing glamorous about getting cussed. And like 90% of the time you're getting cussed out about something that you didn't even do. They called you to come there, and then they want to cuss at you for what they have done.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did I do? You called me, remember? And then, so you're getting cussed at. And then there's the bodily fluids. There's having to touch people that are all sticky and you know what I mean? And like smells.
Oh yeah.
All kinds of smells that you get to experience. From the living and the deceased. So yeah, it's different. Like no sleep. No sleep. I don't know, you look pretty well rested. I always look like I'm about half dead. And there's the caffeine dependency.
Well, I might be well rested because I don't drink 40 Monsters a day, and
I can drink that and crash smooth out. But I have one ringtone on my phone. If it goes off, I can be in a dead sleep. I could probably take like 4 10 milligram melatonins, and I hear that ringtone, and I will be up and ready to go.
Did you see that TikTok of that teacher during like Halloween? The kids gave out candy to each other in classroom, and all the kids were like passed out asleep on their desk. And she looked in one of the kids' bags and saw a bottle, and she went over there and opened the bag and looked at it, and it was a bottle of melatonin gummies. The kid handed them out to everybody. She's like, "Oh my god!"
I seen one where they were like, dude was sitting there playing video games, and he goes, "Oh, I think I messed up," and then he goes, "I found these. They were bussing, right?" And then he turns and it shows us melatonin. He's like, "I think I'm in trouble." And then it like updates like a couple of days later. He goes, "I slept like like a baby."
Yeah. So the police life isn't glamorous, and don't believe everything you see on TV.
Please don't.
That's not how it works.
At all. At all.
Or like my favorite thing is whenever you see those guys get on there and they call, I can't remember what show it's from, like NCIS or NCIC or whatever, and they call that chick named
Gibbs?
Penelope.
Talking about Gibbs?
And I don't know, it's some chick that they call, and then she's able to find everything on anyone within like 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's Gibbs with that. She's like a goth looking chick.
Yeah, it's like she blonde headed.
Oh, I thought she was dark haired.
Oh, I don't.
But either way, they've always got the one. Oh, okay, yeah. They got one too.
Yeah.
Where you call her up and you can be like, "All I've got is the name Samuel."
Yeah,
And be like cross-referencing the database. There's 19 Samuels. Well, this one's got a mole on his face. Okay, I've got 4 now. What else can you tell me? Anything? He wears Timberland boots, and then they're looking through receipts of all the boots that were bought in the area in the last 10 days, and then they were like, "Up, Samuel Smith. That's our guy. We got to go. Move now."
and then they go straight to his house and just kick the door in and go, "Yeah, that's not how it works."
And he's got a whole like Riddler set up in there, like all the crap to make incendiary devices, and yeah, no, it's not like that.
What are some of the stuff that you found that you were reading? Some of them were pretty funny.
Yeah. Let me see. I had a couple. There's a couple here. Like that one, forensic science is magic. So like, you know, in the beer bottle thing, you know, like if you couldn't get prints, they were expecting you to get DNA off of it. Or like, we'll have that. There'll be, I think I was on something the other day, and somebody's like, "If you see any cigarette butts around here, that's probably going to be who did this, because none of us smoke, so there shouldn't be any over here." And I'm like, okay. And this was for like theft of like a little tiny trailer tire.
Yeah.
Like a little Sea-Doo tire, you know? And they're like, "Well, if you find a cigarette butt over here, it's going to belong to them." And I'm like, okay. DNA from a cigarette butt for probably a $75 tire. I mean, I can do it. I'll send it in.
Yeah.
It's not going to be tomorrow, though. You know what I mean? So that takes forever. The DNA databases do exist, but less than 1/10 of all criminals are a part of it. And having a little bit of DNA doesn't mean anything unless we have something to compare it to. So we're kind of stuck there. Let's see. Oh, an insanity defense lets you get away with murder. Yeah. No, probably not. Let's see. I'm trying to, what does it say here? Obviously, if our legal system had this kind of get out of jail free loophole, the prisons would be empty. But in reality, the insanity defense is attempted in less than 1% of all legal cases, which essentially means that more people have tried to pin the crimes on aliens or their evil twin rather than their own basket case shoelace eating lunacy.
Aliens?
Yeah. Of that tiny fraction, where a lawyer was even willing to try it, the defense was successful less than 25% of the time. And in 3 states, 3 states in the U.S. don't even allow for insanity as a defense. So you can't go there. Let's see. Not talking to cops. What are you doing over there? Not talking to cops is obstruction. No, I mean, not necessarily, because the Fifth Amendment makes that BS. A lot of people don't understand the Fifth Amendment, but yeah. Just because you plead the Fifth doesn't mean you're guilty. It means under no circumstances can you be coerced into being a witness against yourself. So that's what that is. You do have the right not to talk to us. Now, obstruction is a real thing, and you can be charged with it when you lie to the police, destroy evidence, or otherwise intentionally mess up our investigation. But simply refusing to talk to us is not one of those things. Note, the police do have the right to ask you to identify yourself in many states, in which case you do have to tell us who you are, and you do have to give us real answers. That's if you're asked. So, trying to think. And then there's the big one. Undercover cops have to identify themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen those. You know, if I ask you if you're a cop, you have to tell me. Oh, dang, you got me.
Yeah. That's a tension building thing in undercover cop movies. Even if asked directly, police officers have no obligation to blow their cover and get shot in the face. And that makes sense if you really think about it, since if that was the rule, then there would be no sting operations whatsoever. Because even the dumbest crackhead would remember to always ask his new supplier if he's a cop before the purchase.
Dumbest crackhead.
And that's likewise for prostitution stings where the police pose as customers. So, I mean, we got that. Tracing phone calls. You know, you see it where they can't triangulate his position. If you've ever tried prank calling 911, then
You're an idiot.
Yeah. You probably will get a visit from a local officer telling you to cut that shit out. And this is thanks to the E911 system, which automatically pairs every incoming call with a physical address in case a child or dog dials for help and you're too busy getting stabbed to death to actually speak on the phone. That way we can find you. But, and you might be saying, though, you know, like in the case of criminals, I mean, and they have used it, you know what I'm saying? They can go back and figure out where they were at a certain time using the deals, the cell phone towers and all that, which I think they did in the Idaho murders. They were able to check where he was, and they saw it go off, and then it came back as he was on the way from there. So they can do that. Yeah. That's the FBI, though. That's the big boys, the alphabet soup boys. And prepare to get paranoid, because today the FBI can track down and remotely turn on any cell phone and use it as a microphone. So they could be listening to us right now.
What are you reading that from?
I am reading this off of, I'm reading it very well. It's off a site over here. Then there's a Miranda rights thing. So
We'll have more coming up on Code 0.5.
If you're looking for a political podcast that goes beyond the headlines, check out the Beltway Briefing. I'm Howard Schweitzer, CEO of Cozen O'Connor Public Strategies. Every week on the Beltway Briefing, our team of former Republican and Democratic presidential appointees, Capitol Hill veterans, and political advocates shares behind-the-scenes perspective that cuts through the noise. If you want the inside scoop, subscribe now to the Beltway Briefing here or wherever you get your podcasts.
What was the one you found where would they say something about cops shouldn't be stopping people for minor traffic offenses whenever they should be out solving real crime?
Right. Yeah, I'll have to go back to that one. But like Miranda rights, just because you're not read your Miranda rights, it doesn't mean that the entire thing is done. reading you your rights or Miranda warning is not done to everybody who gets arrested. It's a warning for people who are about to be interrogated. Now, that doesn't include you if you were arrested for driving drunk and then peeing on the hood of the police car. We pretty much know what we need to know on that one. We can just take it. But if they question you and forget to read you the Miranda warning, you get to walk, right? When they say people get off on a technicality, that's what we're talking about. No. All that means is the prosecution will not be able to use anything you said in court, which is usually just a bunch of nonsense anyway. So just because you're not read your rights before you're arrested doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get thrown on that.
Yeah.
What's your traffic deal?
Oh, I don't know. I was just kind of skimming over it. I was still listening to what all you were reading over there.
Yeah.
But like the minor traffic things and that they should be going after real crime.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that one.
Yeah, like how often have you seen somebody get pulled over for a minor traffic offense and turns out that they're wanted for murder in another state or, you know, like I said earlier, Timothy McVeigh, what was that? He didn't have a license plate on his car?
Yeah.
No, that's how he got caught.
Yeah. I mean, and that's where like doing in the police field is called being proactive. So it's like trying to find things, you know, before they happen. And so, I mean, you may get pulled over and it may be for something minor. And yes, it's an inconvenience and it, you know, it sucks. It's taking some time. But I mean, if you've got nothing to worry about, you got nothing to worry about. I mean, chances are that officer's looking for something. He's either you know, genuinely trying to let you know that there's a problem, you know, with your vehicle or checking on you to make sure you're not in the middle of a medical event or something. Or, you know, there was something else that he was looking for, another vehicle matching that description or something like that. So, I mean, it does suck, but at the same time, it's kind of a necessary evil because once that happens, we end up with our 3 favorite food groups, which are guns, drugs, and money. So when you get large seizures like that, it's really good for departments.
Yeah, and I've heard about the guys that'll, you know, see a car leaving from like a known drug house. And then the guy that they pull over gets ticked off because the reason they stopped him was because they had something hanging from the rearview mirror.
Oh, yeah. I remember the little trees.
The little trees?
Yeah, the little trees. They call it, you know, when you got like more than one and there's like a crap ton of them, they call it the felony forest.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to find a bunch of crap in that car.
Yes.
This is what the old timers called it.
The felony forest.
You won't be looking for the felony forest, boys. Be something good in that car.
Have I talked about radar detectors in cars?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't know if I have or not.
I don't think you have.
But like, well, this ain't legal advice. We ain't attorneys, and this is in Oklahoma. It shall be unlawful for any person to possess, operate, or use a radar detector while operating or as a passenger in a commercial motor vehicle. Also operate a commercial motor vehicle in which a radar detector is installed or present, or install or have installed a radar detector in a commercial motor vehicle. And see, there's also, they call them jammers. Instrument, device, or equipment designed or intended to use with a vehicle or otherwise to jam or interfere with any manner of speed measuring device. It's unlawful for any person to use or possess a jammer. That's not just for commercial, that's for both. They sold those for a little while. I remember seeing ads a long time ago about those jammers. And the way that it worked, it said that like it could send out some type of signal that would, to where the device that was measuring it, it would receive a 0 mile per hour and a 100 mile per hour. So it would like give an error message or not read anything. And the other thing on radar detectors, they don't work.
I've never messed with one.
Like if you've got one and it's on, and then all of a sudden it goes off, letting you know that radar's happening.
I've already got you.
Late. They've already got you.
Yeah, already got you.
So when that detector goes off, it's basically saying, "Oh, you got caught."
Yeah, you got. I found our stupid criminal.
Okay.
I didn't know if you were still reading or what.
No, I'm just looking at this.
So back in 1985, Dennis Newton was on trial for robbing a convenience store. While he was defending himself, claiming to be innocent, he got angry with the store manager who identified him as the robber. Not being able to control his temper, he jumped up and screamed, "I should have blown your head off after... Should have blown your head off." After that, he tried to correct himself by saying, "Well, if I had been the one that was there." Oh, man.
Wait a minute. I think we've done that one before. Is that the one where he fired his attorney? Because there was one that I'd read, or maybe it was you, and they said that he fired his attorney and then defended himself, and they said he was actually doing a pretty good job up until that point.
Really? No, well, that might have been the same one. Let's see.
I don't remember everything, but I do remember some stuff. But yeah, they said something like it was going smooth and he was doing a really good job, and then all of a sudden he blows up whenever the person that identified him was on the stand.
Wait a minute.
Then I think when the jury went back, it took them like 10 minutes to find him guilty.
Oh my gosh. A man suspected of arson and vandalism sent a selfie to the police in Ohio in the U.S. because he found the photo of his arrest warrant to be unflattering. Donald Chip Pugh texted the police a photo of himself and wrote, "Here's a better photo. That one is terrible." He also added on a local radio station, "Man, they just did me wrong. They put a picture out that made me look like I was a Thundercat or James Brown on the run. They can't do me like that." So he fixed it.
And I'm sure there was metadata into the photo that led them to finding him.
I guess.
People don't know that. When you take a picture, there's all kinds of data inside that photo that can tell you where you were at, the time, the date, everything.
Oh, yeah. Things are crazy. There was a 10-year-old boy who was playing with his father's old handcuffs on Father's Day. He cuffed himself to his dad, William Klein Jr., but the key was lost during the game. William called the police in Des Moines, Iowa, to help him get the cuffs off. As per routine, police ran Klein through their database and found 2 arrest warrants outstanding. Shortly after, they recuffed Klein, but it was for real this time.
Take one off his kid and then go ahead and put it on his other hand.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll let you use your... Could you imagine going to jail wearing your own handcuffs?
Jeez.
All right, we're hitting a lull in this again.
Yeah, I was trying to... Oh, here you go. An armed robber named Andrew Hennels was caught after he boasted on Facebook about his plans to raid a supermarket. In a post, which also included a selfie and a picture of a knife, Hennels proudly claimed, "Doing Tesco, over." Police caught him 15 minutes later with the knife and 410 lira in cash stolen from Tesco in Kings Lynn, Norfolk. My man's. Really.
I think people are so obsessed with being famous on social media that's why that shit happens.
I don't understand it. It's got to hurt to be that stupid, or it should. It should.
Wasn't my grandpa used to say, it's expensive going through life being stupid or something. It's expensive to be stupid.
Right.
Maybe that was a John Wayne thing. Well, all right. We're going to get out of here. We'll see y'all next week.
Later.
You have been listening to Code 0.5, the lighter side of police work. If you have ideas or suggestions for our show, we'd love to hear from you. Visit our website at code05.co. That's code05.co. And please consider making a donation at our Patreon page, patreon.com/code05. Be sure to use the digits 05. Thanks for listening to Code 0.5.